بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Sometimes when you go to the Haram, Makkah, Medina, because we interact with lots of different cultures, we also interact with people of very different levels of education. We also face in our own cities as well. We find sometimes people doing things incorrectly. Now, one is, if you have enough knowledge, you will know this is incorrect. Or you may not have enough knowledge, you will not know, well, this is a different way of doing something. For example, different way of doing salah. Like some people don't tie their hands, they have their hands hanging down. So you will know, okay, if you know that, okay, this is one way of performing salah, that they don't tie their hands, or they don't fold their hands, they just leave the hands hanging, that's also one way of performing salah. So you may not have enough knowledge to understand what is right or wrong, and you say, well, that's something else I don't know. Or you have knowledge and you know this is wrong. How do we deal with these things? You see somebody do something wrong, yet at the same time, you can't belittle somebody, look down upon somebody. So, Maulana drew to my attention one principle, Allama Kashmir Rahmatullah alayhi mentioned. It's a very, very good principle, and it applies very useful in hadith and also in day-to-day life. There are two things. One is a fa'al, one is a niyyah. What does fa'al mean? The action. So somebody's action, we can judge that. Meaning a mufti, a scholar, a person who has studied a particular issue, he can judge that and say, well, according to this school of thought, or according to all schools of thought, or according to any hadith, this is incorrect. This is wrong. You can't do this. For example, you will see sometimes, for example, somebody just running and, like you see the Hajar Aswad, you see sometimes on the Muntazam, sometimes at the Prophet's graves and the Maqam Ibrahim, they're doing things you're not supposed to do. Like kissing the Maqam Ibrahim, like that's not supposed to be kissed. Sometimes they're like jumping on each other at the Muntazam, like, you know, just like, not the right way. Sometimes they start kissing the walls of the Masjid Nabawi. So these are all actions we say this is incorrect. The fa'al. Correct? And you can see this throughout many things you have. And then you have a niyyah. The niyyah, that's in the heart. We can't judge that. You following? So as a faqih, a mufti, a scholar, whoever it is, they can say this is incorrect. This is wrong. This person's salah according to fiqh is not correct. This person's action is not an action which brings the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you have knowledge, you can say this is incorrect. You have the right to judge this, meaning it is your duty. That's how you do amr al-ma'ruf and nahy al-munkar. If somebody doing something wrong, you can't say, oh, I can't, I don't know him better than me. So no, this is munkar, this is wrong, so therefore we have to prohibit it. Yes, if you don't know something is wrong, how can you prohibit it? But at the same time, there's something called a niyyah, the feeling of the heart. Why this person doing this action? So that's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to judge. So it's possible a person can do a wrong action, and the mufti says this action is null, it is void, it is incorrect, it is bid'ah, it is thing. But because of this person's maybe lack of knowledge, lack of chance to learn, maybe his sincerity, his heart, he's overwhelmed by emotion, his niyyah was correct, and his fellow is correct. So you say, well, in the eyes of Allah, it may be accepted. But the fellow is incorrect. For example, you find one hadith that a person, he said to his children that I have done so many sins that when I die, don't bury me. Just burn my body to pieces. I don't want to be put in the grave so Allah punishes me. Now, wherever you are, Allah will punish you. The adhab al-qabr is not, we say adhab of the qabr, but qabr is a different realm altogether. So we say qabr as like normally people are buried. And normally there's like adhab. But whether you're buried, whether you put in a pyramid, whether you're burned to ashes, it's not about the qabr. It's qabr, the word qabr and grave is used as a general term. But when you die, there's another realm that you go, our body and our ruh go into. And there you punish or rewarded and go through na'im according to your a'mal. So now this person said, I don't want to be punished, so just burn me to death. Now this is wrong. Because wherever you are, Allah can punish you. Whether you're buried, you're burned to death, your ashes are spread all over the world, an animal eats you, a bird eats you. This is a different realm altogether. So this fa'al, if a mufti would say that this is incorrect, you do munkar, this is a wrong action. It's not permissible to do this. But the Prophet ﷺ says, Shakar Allahu lah. Not Shakar Allah, it's another word. Ghafar Allah, Allah forgave him. Why? Because of his niyyah in his heart. So you have to remember this. Whenever you see anything wrong, if you have knowledge, you have to understand it is wrong. We can't allow say, oh, everything's all right, we don't know. You can't say, other people don't judge me. This. When you have nahy al-munkar, meaning you have to judge this is a wrong action and you have to prohibit it. This is a right action that should be done, you're not doing it, it has to be commanded. You can't be just loose in all of that. But at the same time, you have this understanding that is something more than this apparent action. It's something called a niyyah. And that niyyah, I can't judge that action. So you can't judge that action. Nobody can judge that action. So the mufti will say, this salah is null and void, repeat the salah. this action he's doing is incorrect. It is munkar. But in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can't judge this. Some circumstance, he hasn't had a chance to acquire knowledge. There's no maktab, there's no books. He just come from somewhere. He grew up in maybe in a village somewhere. There's no books, there's no ulama, and he just learned a bit. He came for Hajj, he came for Umrah. Now he doesn't know. So the ruling, the general ruling is incorrect. Is dumb, is invalid, but the niyyah is not for us to judge. So if you understand this, you'll be able to balance off between not being like compromising and giving up our Islamic tradition, but at the same time you also be able to be compassionate to people. I don't become harsh and like, even somebody's something extremely wrong, you can say this is extremely wrong. We have to correct this person, stop this person. But at the same time in your heart you have this tawadhu, this humility that yes, this action is wrong and I only judge his action. I don't know his intention. I don't know what he's doing. Yes, for example, it's many examples. When you go for Umrah, you go Haram, you see so many things, like endless list of things, because so many people, and it's, you see all this. So when you see this in your society, in another place, this is how you deal with these things. Remember, the action can be judged based on the rules of fiqh. The niyyah can't be judged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us, give us the ability to remain firm on our deen, that we always do amr bil ma'roof and nahi al munkar. We understand what is right, and we command and enjoin right. We understand what is wrong, and we prohibit wrong. But also gives this humility and this tawadhu and this we call inkisar and humility, that we also appreciate other people even though they're making mistakes. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.